All right, you guys, I'm so excited for this process. We're going to talk about inviting, keeping it super simple. And at the end of the day, I think inviting is probably the number one thing everyone struggles with. So, first and foremost, I want you to just bless and release any thoughts that you have about inviting, about maybe you've sent invites before, you didn't like them, maybe responses you got back, you didn't love them, maybe you have a roadblock, whatever it is. I just want you to release all of that right now and have a really open mind to a new way of being able to make connections with people so that your invites you're not feeling weird about them. It doesn't feel like a cold invite. And it also doesn't feel like you're becoming someone's therapist just to invite them. Okay. So I feel like most people are on like opposite ends of the spectrum, and you are either trying to build this relationship to the depths of relationship building in the shortest amount of time possible, and it is so emotionally draining and exhausting that you just like have no life left to like even help them on their health and wellness journey. So that could be one person. And then the other side is like, you don't even want to get to know people whatsoever. You're like, just invite, invite, invite. Like, come on, let's go. Say yes. Once you say yes, okay, great. Now I'm your best friend. This is kind of like two opposite ends. And you may have found yourself kind of navigating slowly towards one end and the other based on the mood that you're in and based on the success or lack thereof that you have seen with either of those results. The other thing that I want to say is that I feel like this is going to help people become more consistent with how you are actually approaching inviting instead of waiting until the end of the month and then all of a sudden deciding, oh, it's the end of the month, I haven't hit Success Club, I better send out 30 invites, and then you get no responses and you're like, shoot, well, why am I not getting responses? Like, I just sent out 30 invites. Like, that's a big number. Why am I not hitting Success Club? And it really comes down to being consistent throughout the month. And there's a few other things that we need to do to prep before we get into just the invite. So I'm going to share my screen. The whole point of this, you guys, is to get people into your inbox. Literally the whole point of this. So can you guys see that okay? Yes. Okay, great. I don't know where my mouse went. My mouse is gone, but that's okay. Hopefully if I hit enter, it will work. I am, okay, there we go. Can you guys see all of that, or do you see like all the people on the side? Are we good? Okay, perfect. There we go. The main goal here is really to get people into your inbox, and then you're going to invite them later. So the objective is that when you do your invites, you're literally going through your inbox to invite. You're not trying to find new people. You're not trying to invite right away. The first message you send isn't an invite. It's not a matter of wasting all the time because they're already in your inbox. So when you go to invite, it becomes really quick and really easy to be able to invite everybody who's in your inbox. However, we have to get them in your inbox first. So that is the main goal, is to try and get people into your inbox. This works for Facebook. It also works for, it literally works for any platform. Facebook, Instagram, I mean, TikTok if you want to. Maybe. There we go. So tip number one, in order to get people into your inbox, is that you are posting engaging posts. So we have to start there. We have to be talking about more than just Beachbody. And I think sometimes what happens is we become a Beachbody coach and we think that we have to change absolutely everything, or the only thing we can talk about is fitness, nutrition, and the community. And those are kind of the three things that we get stuck in talking about all the time. The magic comes in where you talk about anything other than Beachbody, because that's when people like giving input. They love giving you feedback on things that you're doing. So ask for tips on literally anything. Planning a trip, ask for tips. Looking for ways to entertain your kids, ask for tips. You are planning a wedding, ask for tips. You like anything that you are doing, start asking people for recommendations. Ask people for meal ideas. Even though we're experts in that field, that's okay. Like, still ask people. One of my favorite ones from this presentation was, even you could do like a funny one with like toilet paper. Like, do you have it so that it faces up or so it faces down? And the whole point here is now you have people who are commenting on your posts. And this might take a little while to kind of train people to like actually start commenting. And this is where we have a call to action. But I think a big piece is that oftentimes our call to action, especially on our team, is come join my challenge group, come join my accountability group, come be a part of my team. If you want to be a part of the team, drop an emoji below. If you want more information, give me this emoji, right? And that's kind of our process. Instead, start asking for call to actions that have nothing to do with Beachbody, and just asking people for their input and their feedback and what's worked for them in the past, and allow them to be the expert and to give you that information. The whole point of that is now you have conversation. So now you can message them to be like, thank you so much for those tips. I love it. Like, TP facing down or up, whatever team you are on. It's so good just to like have something to break the ice in your DMs. This is like, I'm sure you guys have heard of the whole icebreaker, right? Anytime you're doing like a team event or you're at an event and there's a lot of people who don't know each other, consider that what we're doing on Instagram and Facebook, where we're meeting a bunch of new people and we're trying to find ways to break the ice. And now you're finding ways for people to come to you, and you can get into their DMs to message them right away. I would still comment, reply to the comments because it's really good for the algorithm, but you can get right into their DMs to be like, hey, whatever it was that you asked for tips on. Thank you so much. You're amazing. This is great. And try and get into a bit of a conversation there. Now, the other side to that is that you can also do this on your stories. So whatever's happening in your life, literally share that. I think oftentimes I see a lot of people only showing up for their workouts, with their meals, with water, and maybe there's like one post at the end of the day where you're like, oh, I haven't posted anything today. And then you just like throw something up. And that is where people feel like they're being sold to. Instead, have it be literally anything that is happening in your life. Start sharing the experiences that you're having outside of Beachbody. Show up in a way that they know you work out every day. They know you have a community. They know that you are all about like meal planning or meal prepping, whatever your jam is. Make sure that you're still showing up that way, but have a lot of other stuff that is happening that has nothing to do with it, because then people are going to want to message you. They are going to want to talk about your hair, or how are your teeth so white, or whatever. They want to know these things, and you are trying to get them into your inbox. So from your stories, it really becomes engaging, asking questions, asking people to DM you, like just training them all the time to DM you, DM you, DM you. Use that verbiage all the time when you're speaking on your stories and in your posts. Tip number 2, on your stories, really use your polls. So I would use one poll a day is really the suggestion from this. And it's on anything pretty much other than, hey, do you want to join my bootcamp? Are you interested in more information? Don't even do those polls. For the most part, your polls are on anything other than your challenge group or coaching. Yes, there's going to be times where you can add those, but for the most part, it really is adding polls that people can vote on things other than what's happening within Beachbody and your business. Have them vote on polls for your life. Should I wear this dress or that? Should I go here? Should I go there? What restaurants are good in this area? We're traveling here. What airline would you take? Whatever it is that you're doing, literally ask your audience for their feedback and their input, because now you can message them. And you're going to message them every time someone answers a poll saying, hey, I love that you love, this example here was actually Siesta Key, and it is a TV show. So it was like, hey, I love that you love it too. Who's your favorite? I saw you aren't into Siesta Key like I am, but what kind of shows are you into? So regardless of the answer, from your poll, you can still get into a DM with them to be like, I agree with you, or like, oh, like it's so my favorite. I can't believe you don't like the show, but what's your fave? Like, what are you into? And then you can try and find common ground. Immediately, you've just broke the ice and you've built connection instantly. And their trust factor goes way up. They're like beaming radar of like, I'm being sold to is like immediately diminished because the first message was not, hey, do you want to join my bootcamp? So I love that piece. Polls on literally anything, and like use a poll every single day, or the question sticker. You can use that one, but polls, I find people answer polls more than they answer the sticker question, because sometimes we ask really hard questions. So if you're going to use the question sticker, try to keep it to like a really simple answer, to the point where it's like yes or no, or they're selecting like a number, or it's like really one word answers. If you're asking for more than that, they probably won't respond because it's just too much work. Tip number 3, again, I kind of touched on this, but share your life other than Beachbody. I think it's just really important for people to understand that we're not just on social media to be a Beachbody coach. What is it that you want to share outside of that? And what makes you you? Like, you are more than a Beachbody coach. You are more than that. What makes you you? Do you have funny quirks? Do you have like weird things you do? Like on my stories the other day, I actually ate Nutella out of the jar with a spoon. And I was like, I like never show this. But honestly, if I'm going to treat myself, like that's the thing I'm going to treat myself. Do you know how many messages I got from that? Because people were like, yes, oh my gosh, you should try it frozen. It's even better. I'm like, what? You are weird. It's things like that. The other one that I get a lot of is when I say I have pineapple on pizza. People like freak out over pineapple on pizza. I don't know why. So talk about things other than Beachbody. What do you love? Share some how-tos. If you know how to do some cool DIY projects, or you know how to do something really cool with like a cool app, share all of that. If you are budgeting or couponing, share the apps that you're using. Talk about house hunting, like where are you moving to? What are you searching for? I think that stuff helps people to really have this connection with you, where they feel like they know so much about you that when you go to invite, they've been watching for so long and they know that you are more than just a Beachbody coach. That one was a really big one for me. Tip number 4 is birthday messages. So the birthday messages, you guys all know on Facebook, it comes up every single morning with like, these people are the people that have birthdays today, say happy birthday to them. Instead of just writing on their post, I often will do like a story, and I'll give them a birthday story if it gives me that option. I will do that. But I think it comes down to have even more connection when you actually send a message, because sometimes the stories or the posts on their feed just kind of get lost in the mix, and all you get back is like a thank you. The point of this is to get people into your DMs and into your inbox so that we can invite from the inbox. So instead of doing things on their page to say, hey, happy birthday, instead send them a message, something simple. Hey, happy birthday. I hope you really enjoy your day today. Likely they're going to respond back to be like, thank you so much. That was so thoughtful of you. Da, 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 da. You can engage in conversation if you want, or just leave it. And you can say, you're welcome, enjoy. 5,000 emojis, however you talk. And that is just like, that is it. That is all you're sending. So do that to every birthday that is happening every single day on Facebook. If you know it's somebody's birthday or anniversary or some sort of date that they're celebrating on Instagram, because most times people are posting about it, again, you can leave a comment, but also DM them to be like, hey, happy birthday. You can write it out so it's simple, or you can even send like a voice note, or you can send a video message as well. Number 5 is support messages. So maybe there's people that you're watching, they haven't had a birthday, they're not really engaging on your stuff, but you know that they're watching you. Maybe they're just liking a couple things, but they're not really commenting, or they're not getting into your inbox. This is where we can get into their inbox and like have this conversation back and forth. And it is not about the invite right away. So somebody who likes your posts, there is an example there. It says, hey love, notice that you've liked some of my posts. I just wanted to say thank you so much for the support. Whether you watch for my humor, crazy mom life, biz stuff, or motivation, I really do appreciate the love. And like, that's super simple. You're probably going to get them to reply back to be like, oh my gosh, like, thank you. That was great. Or I love following, or, you know, yeah, mom life. Like, and then you can get into a bit of a conversation. But it doesn't have to be anything like super in depth. Story watchers. Again, these are people who are watching your stories who literally comment on nothing. They don't ever send you a DM. They will, or maybe they've responded to a couple of things, but like for the most part, they're literally just watching your life happen and unfold before their eyes, and they're not responding back to you. Hey love, I noticed that you were peeping on some of my stories, and I just wanted to say thank you so much for the support. Whether you watch for my humor, crazy mom life, biz stuff, or motivation, I really do appreciate the love. So you can see they're very similar, but it's really just like telling the person where you know they are. So I've seen you on my posts, or I've seen you on my stories, or I saw you were watching my IGTV the other day, or my Facebook Live, or wherever it is that you're seeing them. Just make sure that you point that out to be like, hey, I see you, thank you, I appreciate you. What's happening when you do both tip 4 and 5 is, even though you're sending them a message, it now starts a thread in your inbox. And so again, the whole point is that you have everybody in your inbox. So now you have this thread that is happening every single day in your inbox, and it is not just invites. Last tip is tip number 6. And this is really where I love this one. And this is something that I do quite often, is watch other people's stories and then message them. So you'll notice when you go, you can do this on Facebook or Instagram, but you'll definitely notice when you go onto Instagram, the people that come up in the very beginning are the people that you watch the most. And your accounts, Instagram's like, oh, you guys watch each other's stories, you like on each other's stuff, you comment all the time. So it shows you them first. I want you guys to scroll all the way over and start watching some of the stories that are like all the way to the end, because those are the people that you aren't connecting with. And when you scroll all the way to the end, you're probably going to see some people that have stories up that you might not have spoken to in a long time, or you just started following them and you've never watched a story before. You guys haven't been connected and you're trying to find a way to build the connection. This is a really easy way. Another way that I like to find where people have stories is if you go to your account and you go to your actual followers at the top, it says followers. Oh, I clicked on one. You can go down and you can see everyone on the side that has a ring around their picture. So you can click on everyone that has a ring around their picture, and then you can just watch the stories from there. Either way, you're watching the story and you're replying to it. So I love this one because instantly, again, it's starting a thread in your inbox. So you're messaging them. You don't have to watch all their stories. If they have like 20 stories up, like that's a lot of time. But what I like to do is, once I find a story that I can reply to, then I swipe out of it. So I don't have to watch every story or like click really fast to get through all the stories. I just swipe over so that I can get to the next person's story. And then as soon as I see a story that I can resonate with or I can reply to, I reply to it, swipe over, and go to the next. I don't typically watch them all because I don't have enough time for all of that. But this is a really great way to get into the habit of seeing other people's stories. And now you're starting a message thread. Again, the end goal is only having to invite through your inbox. So if you are sending all of those messages and you are connecting with all of these people and other people start connecting with you, and now you have all these people in your inbox, literally when you go to invite, you open up your DMs either on Instagram or Facebook. And when you open up your DMs, you're just going to scroll. You're going to scroll down a little bit, and right there, you're just going to start picking people, and you can start to invite right from your inbox. The thing I love about this is you already have a thread started, so it doesn't feel like a cold invite. You haven't spent months and months and months of trying to build this relationship, and you feel like, well, how can I invite them? Like, at what point is it appropriate to invite somebody? And you don't, with this invite sample that's at the bottom, you don't have to worry about transitioning the conversation from, hey, I'm trying to get to know you. Here's a little bit of like back talk, finding connection, commonality. And then you're like, at what point do I transition this into an invite? Because I know I'm going to invite you. Like, I know at the end of the day that invite is going to hit your inbox, but it's a matter of when. And I think sometimes we get caught up in the when, like when is a good time? And so this invite I really love. It says, hey love, I was just going through my inbox, getting some ladies set up for a virtual gym where we focus on our mental health, good nutrition, and fitness. And I figured I'd invite you too. Would you benefit from something like that? This invite I am obsessed with because I often would say, would you like more information? And a lot of the times that question, I mean, can I send you some details? I get more responses from that when I say, can I send you some details? Sure. Yeah. Sounds great. Awesome. And when I say, would you like more information? I get a lot of no's when I say, would you like more information? But would you benefit from something like that? I mean, I feel like it makes people stop and think a little bit to be like, well, yeah, I probably would benefit from something like that. Am I going to tell this person no right now? And even if they say no, that's okay. You can still continue on the conversation and it doesn't feel super weird. So I'm going to try and stop sharing. I like had to randomly find the stop share button. Hopefully I'm still going. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yep.
All right, well, I can't see you, so let's see here if I can get back to my Zoom. There we go, you're there. Okay, so that is kind of like the whole, how you can do it, how you can break it down. I was like, my mind was blown on this one because I just feel like it's so simple. I feel like there's no thinking and I can literally dive into my inbox. A question that I asked when I first heard this training was like, how many messages are you sending every day? And what does that, how many invites are you sending? And the response that I got back from 5-Star Diamond Coach, and she had said that she sets a time limit for herself. She said, setting a number, and I think this is true for a lot of people, setting a number almost feels too intimidating, where you're like, I need to send out 20 invites every single day. And she's like, oh, that stresses me out. Like hearing the number stresses me out. But she's like, if I know I'm going to sit down for an hour and I am going to talk to as many people as I can in an hour, and then for 20 minutes, I'm going to go back into my inbox and I'm going to invite people from yesterday. Or she does it the opposite way, where you start with your invites first from the people you talked to yesterday, the day before, and then you dive into random conversation with everybody else to fill up your inbox again with new people for the following day. And she said for her, it's about time limit and investing that time into her business. And I think it's just a really important note to like identify what works best for you. Are you a person who works best off of like, I need to check off 50 people's names and I'm good, let's go, and I feel comfortable with that? Or are you a person where you're like, no, that stresses me out, but I know I have a half an hour that I'm going to dedicate to inviting, so that's what I'm going to do. Set the little timer cube and away you go. That's it for me. I wanted to keep this kind of short. If you guys have questions, I'll answer any questions, but I hope that this helps you guys for Power Hour. Does anybody have any questions? Perfect. That must mean that I like explained it. Good. Okay. I'm going to let you guys get to work. I'm going to pop the recording of this in the team page so you guys can reference it. And I will also include I'll just include the presentation so that you guys have the information and the actual invites so you can take those with you as well. So enjoy. Bye guys.
Thank you, Shailene. That's really, really helpful. I just have people cleaning in the background, so I'm muting and no video.
Awesome. I love that you find it helpful. I honestly found it was just like, I was like, yes, this is like the key to unlocking how to get people into your inbox without feeling weird about it. So hopefully it helps you guys. Let me know. I would love to hear feedback when you try it. I'd love to hear feedback on just like if it's working, if you feel like we need to tweak it a little bit. Let's make it so that we can keep this super simple for new coaches too. Bye guys.